Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm back again with another video. You probably didn't see that coming. But anywho, this is going to be another car-related vehicle, mainly mine, the 2006 Toyota Corolla. And I hope to keep this one a little shorter than my previous one, so I'll get it right on it. Right before my last video ended, I actually was going to change the power steering fluid because I felt like it was still a little dirty. But when doing that, I decided I'm going to go ahead and clean the reservoir up, so I had to kind of uninstall the two 10mm bolts that were holding it, and then you also have to take out the couple of hoses that are attached. You have to remove the OEM clamps, and they are a pain in the ass, just so you know. These are the ones right here, and in the end you're better off just replacing all three because sometimes they can get out of alignment and they're not going to be able to wrap around the hoses or tighten up like they did before. So you're better off getting clamps like these, for example. I didn't specifically use these, but they're pretty similar. These ones actually have a Phillips type of screwdriver. Some have the flat head, or if you want, you can actually use like a nut driver, which could be 5/16 or something smaller. But I recommend using that because the OEM clamps, they suck ass. That's one thing about OEM that I don't like, are their clamps. So, or at least the Toyota ones, for example. So you're better off getting aftermarket ones. Even better, these are USA made, so you can't complain about that. So in doing all this, I also decided to remove the top cover, which also has like two 10mm nuts on there. One of them would not come off for whatever reason, so I had to. I've done it before, but it's been a while. But I actually used a 1/4-inch ratchet with a 1/4-inch extension, 10mm. I put that on the nut, and then I used a 12mm wrench to kind of see if I've done it before, but it's kind of tough. And I also had to use some Schaefer's oil. You can also use WD-40 if you want, so you can get hopefully it loosens up, it frees up the threads. And it took a while, but I managed to get it off. It wasn't easy, but got it off. And then it's that I don't know what you call it, but it's like a screw stud that kind of goes into like the like where, you know, there's the valve cover gasket, there's the engine coils. It's also stuff you want to, you know, if you want to change your spark plugs, it's in that type of area. And that's what you have to do. You have to eventually Loctite it, which is what I did. I used some Loctite. I was able to screw that little screw threaded stud back in there. Tighten it with the I think it's either the 12. It should be the 12. I think it's either the 12 or 13, whichever one will fit. And I tighten it up, let it sit there for a while. And then after that, I was maybe going to put the reservoir back and just do the transmission fluid, and there's a car coming, so we'll wait on that. And it's also thundering, so it's probably might be raining. So okay, that vehicle was passed. So anyway, right back on that, I decided, since I had all the stuff out of the way, I was going to go ahead and replace this one part, and that's the upper engine mount right here. And the one I replaced it with, believe it or not, was an OEM replacement. I don't know if you can tell the part number. Hopefully you can see that part number. Better yet, this was USA made, so you can't complain about that. And what this is going to have, it's going to have these three bolts here. Like, it's going to have one there, and one there. And you also have two nuts, in case people might forget about it. There's going to be two nuts, and you're going to have a screw there. And what the good news is, they're all going to be 14mm. They're the same size. But if you don't have a 14mm deep socket, a 9/16 deep socket will work just as well. That's why I ended up having to use it, because I didn't have a 14mm deep socket. I just had like the small 14mm. I think it was meant for the 1/2 inch, but it wasn't deep. So, but anyways, now just so you know, this can be a bit of a pain in the ass. I was able to get this first bolt out. Oh, not the first bolt, but the first nut out here. But the second one, I don't know how that one guy did it, but I could not get to it. So what I ended up doing was I jacked up the car using that jack, of course, jacked up underneath where I should do it, and I basically formed my own little trick, is combining several extensions here, and of course using my 3/8 ratchet, and put the deep 9/16 on there, and I was able to fit that socket on there, and just uninstall it, and then did the same method when I installed it. And right when you're getting ready to put the new one on, the one well, sorry, never mind. Anywho, what you want to do before you install it, you want to put some anti-seize on these threads here, and then around this area here. That's what you want to do, because it looks like that's what the previous technicians did at Toyota. So you want to do that. But when you put it in there, it's not going to line up like it should. You actually have to, like I said, did I just say that? Oh no, that's sorry about that. Lost my train of thought. Anyways, you're going to use the jack, but actually you're going to get a good thick piece of wood. I used a 2x8 or 2x10. Put it on the jack. You jack up the engine oil pan, but like I said, you want to have a good thick piece of wood to do that, so you don't fuck up the engine oil pan. So you jack it up. You jack it up to where you know you can actually get things properly aligned, and where the screw would. Once you start tightening the screw on this here, it starts to actually line up, and then you can. I think you actually take the jack out, and then you actually want to get everything started, but you don't want to tighten everything. You want to get everything started, and when you, like I said, when you tighten this up, everything should fall into place. You start tightening this up. You start tightening these up, and just so you know, these bolts here, these three bolts, they were actually pretty fucking tight to get out. So just a reminder. It might have been easier for you, but I had to use a breaker bar here to break those three out. So beware. If you might want to have a breaker bar with you just to be on the safe side. So yeah, that's what I did, and got everything lined up, and yeah, got that taken care of. And then eventually I did my my power steering fluid, and I used, if you're just wondering, you can use this O'Reilly's Global multi-vehicle automatic transmission fluid for the power steering. That's what I ended up doing. And once you probably want to put it to the max. Once you get in your car, you want to start it up. You also want to go to the right, hold it there for a few seconds, then go to the left, and you want to do that at least 3 or 4 times, from what I understood, on each side, so that everything, gets the flow of it right. And I think air bubbles are somewhat related to this. I'm not sure, but that's what you want to do. Anywho, just so a reminder, like I said, like I said before, I actually had to get underneath the car to tighten the second bolt, because I'm not gonna have, for some reason, I don't have enough room to do the second nut on this thing. So just wanted to throw that out there. And yeah, just make sure they're all tight. And the key to know if it needs replacement, this one, it wasn't severe, but in some cases, if it moves pretty well, it's a good chance that it needs replacement. This moved a little bit, but I figured I'd go ahead and replace it anyway, because in a way it's starting to kind of wear out, so might as well replace it anyway. And I believe there you have it. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you liked what I said. Hopefully you learned some tricks like I did. Because some people, here's the thing, I think they tell you to change the tire on the passenger to get to that, but you don't have to. As long as you have plenty of fucking extensions, you should be good. But anywho, anyway, hopefully you liked the video, and this is a great little boost, not only for me, but could be for you, especially since I never changed an engine mount before. But hey, it's good to have that experience, and it saves you money. So anywho, I'm gonna have to put all the stuff up, and it looks like it might rain, and I'm a little tired and hot and sweaty, and I just want to enjoy the rest of the night. So yep. Anywho, hopefully you like this video, and we will see you later. Bye bye.